What is this?
It's the end of June, so this is around the time.
Wait, what was that? What anime was that? It was a nigga. And it was a nigga.
It's the end of June, so this is around the time we look back at the season that's just passed. Time sure does fly, doesn't it? The start of the season felt just like yesterday, but we're already staring at the incoming summer season. How about a trip down memory lane then? Yes, this season's been an action-packed one, and I'd like to highlight some of the most amazing battles that we've been blessed with. However, before we start, I'd like to invite you to hit that subscribe button up there. There are still a sizable portion of viewers that haven't subscribed.
This is what got me back into One Piece years ago. I had dropped it, and they showed a clip of Marineford, and I had to see it.
Let's get started on our list. Shiki versus Jin opens up our list at number 10.
Who?
Okay. Coming into this season, I'm sure everyone had varying opinions on ReZero. Some were lukewarm to it, while others gladly welcomed another battle shonen to the ever-growing family. Personally, I like the idea of the sci-fi theme of the series, and I more or less enjoyed the series from the get-go. Whatever your opinions are, I think we have to give credit where it's due for the cool fights that we got as early as a season
ReZero. What is it about?
Shiki versus Jin's probably not on anyone's radar. That gives me even more reason to include this fun little scuffle on the list.
It's on Netflix? Oh, that's why I don't be watching it, because I don't watch Netflix.
Creativity on display, and despite being a departure from his previous work in terms of setting, ReZero still gives us some hints of fairy tale and rave at their best. It's early for the hype to match anything from those two, but I love how the technological and modern aspects of the show are incorporated in this battle. It's great to see that Hiro Mashima still has it in him. I admit at first I was unsure of what to expect of ReZero adaptation, but so far it's been pretty lit. Big props to the anime.
Is this made by the nigga that made Fairy Tail and Rave Master? I hated both of them shows.
Team for making
I'm
the
not
most out
watching
of the
this.
source material and giving us this fight too. When the season started, I found myself very excited for Yasuke. It's not at the very top, but it's somewhere up there in terms of shows that I look forward to. It didn't really live up to my expectation, but one thing that the show gave me was some good fights. Episode 4's battle between Yasuke and Kurosaka didn't disappoint in the slightest. I know coming in that one of the parts in the show that would be given a lot of focus on would be the sword fights.
I didn't really like this, to be honest with you, but we're not gonna say nothing bad about
so clean and smooth. I also
anime
liked
with
how
black
the battle made
main
full
characters.
use of the setting and allowed
So
the
we just gonna
fighters to make
support
the
it
most of the
regardless.
environment,
But this anime's great,
including
wonderful.
with a dramatic end. You know, what amazes me about One Piece is that despite running through multiple generations of anime fans, the animation and the fights still maintain that consistent quality. I don't need any further proof than the recent fight which put Luffy, Law, and Kid against the Beast
This was
Pirates.
fire.
Yeah, I call it a fight.
This was fire. You gotta get back on One Piece. I don't know if Non-Squirter is still in here, but yo, you need to get back on One Piece, man. It's never been better.
Utilized the way it did here felt really great. The fight is overall just an extended flex by our key characters.
And this is like a filler fight. It wasn't even that serious for them to animate it this good.
But I think that it deserves a spot here merely due to the animation quality. Seriously, it's amazing how encounters between our OP characters and some fodder get so much love in terms of animation quality. What more when we get to the bigger fights later down the line? I'm pretty excited about that.
Record of Ragnarok? I heard people didn't like this.
It's a late comer to the party, but we have a crazy one here. Record of Ragnarok as an adaptation has had quite the mixed reception, to say the least. However, one thing that I can be sure of is that
that's how some people be at night with their hand like that.
That's Adam versus Zeus. I think that the best part of the fight,
why is he naked?
Itself, is the message. Adam represents humanity's strength and will, and despite being outmatched, puts up one hell of a fight. To further drive the message home, Zeus wins on a technicality. That's an amazing show of humanity's inner strength, despite lacking the physical prowess that gods have. And really
then why does he have a leaf over his meat?
On another note, Record of Ragnarok has that fate thing of using some historical and mythical characters in highly creative interpretations. You can binge it in one day, so I recommend you check Record of Ragnarok out if you enjoy some wacky and over-the-top fights.
Do y'all like Meglobox?
I knew that
I couldn't get into Meglobox. I like Hajime no Ippo, but I couldn't really rock with Meglobox. What up, Link?
Showdown between Mac and Lou. Of course, we can count one of the more underrated boxing anime to deliver. It's quite the intense fight we have here, with the fight starting out heavily in Lou's favor. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if some people found the fight hard to watch due to how much of a beatdown Lou's giving out, all without restraint. Then, Mac time begins, and the tide turns. For me, the most important part of the episode, however, was the revelations on what Mac time really is. It seems to be a feature rather than a
Me
bug.
too. I watched like
Sure
2 episodes and was like,
in the future. Plus, the entire thing reeked of some corporate BS, which I think should be a key focus on the story.
Same. I'd rather watch Baki the Grappler. Okay, My Hero Academia. What episode was this? Oh, this is when they was doing the little practice
I love
thing.
these friendly sparring arcs. We just had one in Jujutsu Kaisen, which became my favorite arc in the whole thing, and My Hero Academia is not about to lose out too. The joint training
Shit,
arc
man,
is
just
quite
reacting
long
to
with
this
a
anime
bevy of
was
fights,
good.
But my favorite segment would have to be the one with Team Ida taking on Tetsu's team. This whole sequence is just a good show of each hero's abilities and how they use them against each other. There are stakes for sure, but it's not exactly the life and death battle that villain fights are. But you wouldn't be able to tell given the passion and effort on full display. Todoroki and Tetsu in particular have a great duel, but let's not forget
all I know
Ida
is,
showing
as
off
far
some
as
of the
My
cool
Hero,
tricks
bro,
up
they
his
gotta
sleeve.
get
The
to an
joint
arc
training
where they
battle
don't
is just a fun
jump
ride all
straight
throughout.
back into
And while I picked this set to be the best one of them, the other
like
fights are also
training
awesome in
and
their
going
own
to school
ways.
again, bro. Like, be heroes already. Dragon Quest guy.
Now here's something that I'm sure a lot of you didn't expect to see. Perhaps
I started
it's
watching
genre,
the original Dragon Quest anime that this is based off of, and when I heard this was coming out, I dropped it to watch the new one, and I forgot all about it.
Provide some hidden gems in terms of fights such as this one. The fight at first seems to be your standard shonen fare. Not that it's a bad thing. In fact, it's very satisfying. And a fight
you
like
can
this
chill
seems
and
to be
watch
something
YouTube at work like
everyone's
that?
come to expect from a series of the genre. However, what takes this fight to the next level can be seen when you take a closer look at the animation. The way the battle happened and the animation techniques employed really reminded me of some of my favorite fights from Dragon Ball Super, but with the wonders of modern technology. It seemed like a callback to the stuff like the Broly fight in Super or something from Black Clover. I'm not sure if the Dragon Quest anime would be your cup of tea, but if you like fights and the setting of the anime, do yourself a favor and pick the show up.
Okay, this is Castlevania. Oh, that's why I didn't recognize it.
And Castlevania continues to impress. I briefly talked about this on a previous video that despite Castlevania not being a Japanese anime, I feel that I want to highlight the show a bit more because it looks pretty anime anyway, and it consistently gives us fights as neat as this one. Carmilla versus Isaac for me is the highlight of the season of Castlevania. The best fight amongst the bunch, if you may. And a lot of that has to do with the
when I was in
choreography
office,
and how much the
I know I
combatants'
used to see
characters
people,
shone
they
in
used
this
to play in
duel. The fight is
Minecraft
also
or
a way
like
to showcase
Overwatch.
character development.
I never felt
a
that
way to
comfortable.
present an extension of
I always felt like somebody's gonna come over my shoulder like, nigga, what is you doing? So I just kept it, pull out my phone with nobody around and get back to work.
You can also see how he compensates for the lack of power in comparison to his opponent, and the same goes for Carmilla and her pride being her downfall.
Vivy Floret Eyes song.
You know, entering this season,
what is
high
this?
Hopes for
Like,
Vivy. I just had the feeling that I'd like it, being the action sci-fi nut that I am. However, I didn't expect to get blown out by the spectacular fight choreography that the show has. The quality is so insane, so much so that I added a fight as a last-minute entry to the female fights video when I saw it. With the bar set that high so early, what else would be there for me as far as Vivy's concerned? Well, an even better fight, of course. Episode 9's fight is just insane. That's all I have to say about it. I haven't watched everything this season, but I might as well bet that not a lot of stuff this season can top the fight choreography in this one. This fight had me on the edge of my seat, consumed by pure adrenaline, thanks to the camera angles, the pacing, and just how sleek everything looks.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing a trailer for this.
I know I can't call it an underappreciated show or anything because it does have some hype.
I got a lot of new anime to start
watching.
watching.
Does deserve better.
I'm still watching Fist of the North Star and shit.
Uses elements from a lot of fan favorite anime with games such as Detroit Become Human, topped off with by far the best fight choreography the season has seen. This fight was live.
This fight was live. This is what got me back into Boruto.
It's a close call, this one. It really was. In the end, I decided to give the top spot to this one because it was one of the few fights that really blew up on the internet, at least from what I saw anyway. Plus, it's not too shabby of a fight, to be fair. Actually, no, I take that back. This one is an amazingly animated fight that reminds me of the previous team-up versus Momoshiki.
What you doing, like IT and stuff?
Naruto universe fight is in full display here. You got the usual abilities of our characters, along with a mix of taijutsu. It's a very
I know when I was working at help desk, it was super relaxed. They had the lights down. It looked like a room where you stream in.
It's so powerful that he can take on both Naruto and Sasuke without even breaking a sweat. And even the trusty powers that we've known the legacy characters for, such as the Susanoo, seem to be no match at some points. Overall, a very great fight that will serve as a landmark turning point in Boruto for years to come.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I figured as much.
Now, those were some great looking fights, weren't they? But you know what's not amazing? Region locks. Well, luckily, Express V...
Shut up, nigga. I don't want... Alright, winter. This was winter. And then I'm trying to get put onto some new anime. I'm trying to fall into some new anime. Yep, there we go. We got One Piece on here again.
As we move towards the end of yet another
the same Nick? Oh yeah, I've been hip to Dr. Stone. I'm waiting for the third season.
In my best interest to give you what you want. So here we go, top fights of the winter anime season. As expected, for such a jam-packed season, this winter 2021 has a whole gallery of amazing fights that would satisfy all your cravings and more. Before we get going, I'd like you guys to subscribe to this channel. It does help me a lot, and I'll be so happy to reach the next major milestone
never seen
for the
Black
channel and
Clover.
this community. So let's do it together, everyone. I don't want to keep you waiting any longer, so let's get going with our top fights this winter 2021. We start with a shorty, Team Dead End versus Red Hood Cobra. One thing that amazes me, frankly speaking, is just how much effort and love's getting poured into Mushoku Tensei. Look, a freaking studio is created just for the show, and it's more or less confirmed to be a long runner, with the team more or less poised to adapt the series all the way to the end. Just a testament of their passion can be seen in this short battle between Team Dead End and the Red Hood Cobra. It's a short battle lasting a little less than a minute long, but you can clearly see how well crafted it was in anime form. From the team's attacks to the camera cuts and animations with each twist and turn.
Demon Slayer? I couldn't get into Demon Slayer either. Hold on. My bad, y'all. I gotta go back. I was texting. What anime is this?
Dead End versus Red Hood Cobra.
Okay.
One thing that amazes me, frankly speaking, is just how much effort and love's getting poured into Mushoku Tensei. Look, a freaking studio is created just for the show.
Dr. Stone inspired.
More or less confirmed to be a long runner,
some old animation you never heard of. No link mentioned some I haven't heard of. Oh, I be hip to the older animes. I be trying to go back and watch a lot of older animes that I like used to see at the store, stuff like that, and I miss out on a lot of newer ones like this. I don't even know what this is. Like, how do people be finding out about these animes?
Animations with each twist and turn the battle took. I won't place this battle as anywhere near the top 3 or anything, but if you want the embodiment of the phrase short but sweet, among the plethora of winter fights, this one would be it.
Like, my sister went to go see the Demon Slayer movie when it came out. Claymore. That sounds familiar. What is it about? Because when you say Claymore, for some reason I think of Batum, and that's not it.
But today I want to bring your attention to the whole sequence of Whitebeard Pirates versus Roger Pirates. In universe, it's a long fight that lasted for days, with the members of the crew giving no edge to the others while displaying their amazing powers. The two powerful pirate crews go toe-to-toe, giving us a plethora of highlights, one that includes Rayleigh stopping Marco with one finger. The sequences and how the island survives the days of fighting make this quite the mind-blowing fight when you think about it, and it's this kind of insanity that makes One Piece such an eye-catcher.
Yeah, this was
quite
tough.
The epic moment that ends up turning into a gift exchange event out of all things. Yeah, it didn't seem like they're out for blood with how much banter and friendly.
I still haven't watched the new Black Lagoon season. Well, not new no more, but like the last season they came out with. I never finished that. what's this? Seven Deadly Sins. I ain't never seen this.
7 Deadly Sins season without some showcase of how awesome Escanor is. There are reasons why he's become a fan favorite, and a lot of that's to do with just how overpowered he is and how he makes a spectacle out of every fight. Perhaps as a way to make up for the hilarious for all the wrong reasons Meliodas fight, we got a far better battle this season around. What more can I say besides letting you watch the spectacle unfold? I already thought
it's on
that the
Netflix.
fight against Esterosa's great.
I gotta find. I gotta dig deep into Netflix because I know I was watching Seven Seeds and Japan Sinks 2020. Those are two Netflix anime I did watch and enjoy, but I gotta kind of
with this fight we just added another big
look
moment
around and see what kind of hidden gems they got on there.
Of him being badass and eye-poppingly awesome. Next up, we have a fight from Season 2 of Slime, Rimuru versus Hinata.
Alright. Somebody please tell me what the hype is for this show, the time I got reincarnated as a slime, and that other show. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Like, they got like 50 versions of this show. Is it that good? Because I see it every time on Crunchyroll. They either showing a commercial for it or whatever the case may be, and I can't get into it because I think it's just like pure comedy, and I don't think Japanese comedy is funny.
We've always known Rimuru to be one broken character, so first impressions would make anyone assume that he'll be the kind to just power through everything. You'd think that it would be hard to get a nice, entertaining fight out of him, but as Escanor proved earlier, such a thing is possible. Case in point, the battle against Hinata that starts in episode 6.
I've never watched Gintama. I watched the first episode and turned it off.
Overwhelmed by Hinata's speed and technique.
That GIF I sent you was the only thing I found funny, like, and I seen that on Twitter.
One step ahead of him. Overall, I like this fight because it gave us a little bit of everything. A display of powers, check. Some nice management when it comes to having this fight spread throughout multiple episodes, check. An overpowered protagonist like Rimuru showing some weakness and having to resort to trickery instead of just powering through challenges, check. One of the better slime fights overall. The great animation is just the icing.
Does anybody know when Tower of God coming back? That's what I'm looking forward to seeing. Tower of God.
Here's an anime that I don't talk about often. World Trigger has generally gone under the radar, but once in a while it does provide us with some cool fights. It's a 2-on-4 battle as we have a battle for the expedition ship. It's not easy to produce a fight with so many people at once while giving them ample time to shine, but that's exactly what World Trigger excels at. In a fight that can easily devolve into an incoherent mess, we have a very fluid and very engaging 4-on-2 battle that takes on numerous turns. This is a great payoff fight that helps show what makes World Trigger good. The fights, while remaining quite the spectacle, aren't exactly resolved by some grand power-up like most shonen. Instead, fights are won through experience.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Now, if this fight gets you going, why don't you check out World Trigger? I'd say it's pretty underrated for what it brings to the table. Now, if you can't get enough of sci-fi action, how about checking out what today's sponsors, Figurama Collectors, have for you? Introducing the all-new Elite Solo statue for Killy of the kick-ass manga Blame.
ReZero. I don't know what ReZero is. I never watched that before
either. What I like
either.
about the final stretch of ReZero's second season is that there are multiple climaxes happening concurrently. You have Emilia's trial, Subaru dealing with evacuating people from the mansion, the battle in the mansion, and the 2-on-1 battle against Roswell. Among those climaxes, probably the best fight amongst them is Garfield versus Elsa. It's brutal of a true fight as you'd get this season. Most of the violence has been in the form of one-sided destruction, but Garfield's battle with Elsa gives us a good back and forth with probably two of the toughest non-magical fighters the series has had so far. It also gives us some good development for Elsa and a lot of nice moments between the two Beastkin siblings as the battle rages on. This is the most action-packed segment.
Thanks for the subscription using your Twitch Prime. Me too. I keep hearing about the slime and the ReZero anime. Okay, Attack on Titan.
To say that Attack on Titan's final season had taken the anime world by storm is a gross understatement. It's such a juggernaut right now in terms of hype and reception that I think that it surpassed season 1's fanfare when the anime series started around a decade ago. And
I gotta write a list and watch some of these.
With Attack on Titan, besides the really profound and meaningful narrative and the extremely well-written characters, it's the way all the fights have an epic feel to them. The anime also shakes things up quite often with the show, like this battle. Pretty notable in this fight is how Eren starts off by not even letting the Warhammer Titan transform. He goes right after his opponent, and that's got to be one of the few times a transformation sequence gets interrupted in anime. Hey, he's called the Attack Titan, not the Observer Titan. Nonetheless, the two of them continue to have a slugfest before the Warhammer finally gets the upper hand. But the end of
I just felt like the time I got reincarnated as a slime just sounds like a little comedy anime. I never knew. Just like this how, let me pause it real quick so I don't miss that. This how I do it, right? I can only stomach maybe 3 shonen style anime. One Piece is always gonna have that slot. And then just like maybe one I'm already watching and then a new one. I can't just watch shonen because it'll get annoying. And then I'll just like incorporate other stuff. So like shows like Black Clover, Fire Force, 7 Deadly Sins. What's some of the, even Boruto, I'm off and on with that. So I can't really watch all of them. I gotta kind of spread it out. So I'll be missing out. I mean, I started watching Black Clover because they was like this the next one, but it started feeling like Naruto all over again. I was like, I don't want to reinvest back into like a similar story. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, draw me in with the story. Like what got me with Jujutsu Kaisen, even though it's the same old you got a demon inside you type vibe, it was more so the fights that did it for me, and then like everything else they built around it. You got to catch me with the fights or catch me with the like the premise off rip. Other than that, I'm not watching it. Only manga I read is One Piece because I can't wait. I'm not trying to die before I figure out what the One Piece is.
Asta and Yami versus Dante. It's been a long journey, but the Black Clover anime is about to come to an end. That means that the anime has all the reasons to pull out all the stops in the final push. And that also
wait, it's coming to an end? Black Clover coming to an end?
Being badass, and we just had a dose of that in a recent episode. Technically speaking, the fight is Asta and Yami versus Dante, but we mostly just see Asta's futile struggles.
The show, wait, Black Clover over with?
Black and blue. Then comes Yami, and the real main event begins with the seemingly unstoppable Dante finally meeting his match. It's quite the drawn-out fight that lasts for a while, but if this would be Yami's last hurrah, this is an exciting way to go out. He does win the fight, but with the anime ending soon, I think it's about time to give the young ones their shine.
It's over already? It's only been out for what, a year? Oh, it's on hold. Okay. All right. Like, I'm still waiting for One Punch Man to come back.
Next on the list is Kawaki versus Garo. Let me get one thing straight. When it comes to hand-to-hand combat, the Naruto series never fails. You can count on whatever studio handling Naruto to put out an amazing performance.
I feel like what messed Boruto up is they started off. They started off with like a good idea, and then it got real stupid. If they would have started off with this saga first, Boruto would have been top. Would have started off top. But instead, they had started off showing stuff from this time period, but then they started showing like all the little Scooby-Doo kids type adventures that nobody really cared about, and that's what messed it up.
Finding its way to the top is the Jujutsu Sorcerer's fight against Hanami.
Second season of One Punch Man was dope. This was good too.
Jujutsu Jujutsu Kaisen had another banger of a battle recently. This time featuring everyone's favorite mentor and reverse Kakashi once more, as well as Yuji and
One
Todo.
thing about Jujutsu Kaisen is they gonna hit you with some fights. Like a lot of anime, they'll do it like where we gonna get you with some story, and then the fight. No, they like fights rule everything around me, then you get some story.
Still, there's a pretty good fight between the sorcerers and Hanami before big backup arrives, and we have Gojo being awesome again. This time, it's his hollow purple nearly destroying Hanami outright before the latter escapes. Epic animation by none other than Mappa and some great work by the voice actors elevate this fight more than what I read in the manga. Great anime fights elevate a manga fight more than its original form, and this is a good example of that happening.
Yeah, he is OP. What's his deal? Cause he get like his vibe, if you can remember, if you ever seen Magi or whatever, he remind me of Sinbad, where you don't know if he really good or bad. Like he kind of act like both.
That's quite a list.
You know
now,
what I'm saying?
Were your predictions correct? Is there a deserving fight that I failed to include? Tell me